You scream, we all scream for ice cream. I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream.
All right, so I thought I'd set up in this spot because there's a nice little breeze coming through the hallway, and I kind of realized that the hall is such a large portion of the property of these flats that why not get a little use out of one. I have a couple of beverages tonight. Always nice to have a frosty Topo Chico.
Only got one finger left, and it's pointing at the door.
Hope everyone's doing really well as it spikes up in temperature. Cheers. And just because we're comic book readers, what better than something that's good for your eyes and some nice carrot juice. This is from Bolt House. It's pasteurized, but it still packs a nice carrot punch. Fortunately, it's not spinach juice, so my strength isn't quite into it. But let's get this poured. All right, now I'm ready. This first book, whole table moved. Just gotta make sure I'm not gonna set the books down on any condensation. Is Batman 181 sketch cover. I have an image in mind that I'm gonna do for a friend, and it's gonna be front and back. Are we gonna deal with crazy light levels again? I swear it's the bench at the gazebo all over again.
A dark side.
There we go. We'll remedy that right off the bat.
Nice rhyme.
We'll just call this our check 1 2 3 cover. Okay. Yeah, so I have something in mind for that. This first one is from, I believe it's a place called, it's Ron's Comic Closet Collectibles. And I ordered some stuff from them, and I had to remind them 4 days later to ship it. I was asking them, hey, are any of these books like pre-orders? Because I ordered it on a Monday, and by Thursday there was no movement, and apologized profusely and assured me they'd be on their way. And 4 days later they arrived. One cover is incorrect though, so I'll show you that one when we get to it. So this is Saturday Morning Adventures, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, issue 1. I saw this cover and I've always been an enthusiast of the character, the Rat King. He's sort of Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird's Willard. I'm not positive that there was a version of the Rat King in the comic though, so that might have been something that the people with Fred Wolf from the '87 cartoon devised. But this is an S. Meyer cover, and I believe this rat in particular is like Ben, a high-ranking rat in the army. So I thought, yeah, let's add that to the order. Carrot juice. All right, here's the latest addition to the collection by the Frizz. This is Poison Ivy 10 with interiors by Wilson, Takara, and Prianto. I believe there was a book colored by Prianto in the AOK from Davis Comic Finds, but something special happens whenever the Frizz goes Hamlet on her covers. I'm out of short boxes. These are actually in my supply box.
Comic books.
It has my bag and boards and my clear boards and some extra bags, so forth. So I try, but no matter what I do, some of the Archie horror books still get past me. So I end up back ordering them. It's a really good idea to just order them directly from Archie Comics because they're usually really inexpensive there. Here is Jinx, Cursed Life, and I'll figure out who did this cover. I try to keep up with the Archie horror books, and there's just some that get by me. And you can tell your comic store to keep an eye on them, but sometimes they slip by. Like this channel I love to watch, Chicho. It's been a little while. He no longer really loads on YouTube. I believe he uses another forum for his videos, and then someone after the fact puts them on YouTube. But Chicho, where was I going with this? Finally occurred to me where I was headed with that.
What the hell kind of way to act is that?
Open the door.
He's on drugs.
I came to a fork in the road and I forgot to go straight. I delineated. So Chicho told his comic shop to pull all the Ninjak books. He likes the new Valiant Ninjak character. And at one point there was a title that was called Ninja K, and they forgot to pull it for him, and it's kind of a shame because he was really mostly collecting the new Valiant books, and that one got past him. And I think they did something like the Book of Death, which really heated up at one point, and it took him a little while to get caught up on his Ninja K books. So I've really been a big supporter of these really well done facsimile covers, and I have something that's very much like this. I have the Bruce Timm version of the Invincible Iron Man. Sorry, I always struggle with that, with invisible and invincible. He's invincible because he's indestructible. We can see him. He's there. But, yeah, this is just a cool book. I was talking with Jeff at that Comics TNT book sale, and we're kind of saying that this isn't the greatest of the Silver Age #1 covers, but, when I get a chance to get the facsimile, I usually do it, even if I have the real version, which I clearly don't have that. I saw something that I really wanted to get. It was a facsimile of Jim Lee's X-Men 1. And I got excited because, Jim Lee X-Men gives me that warm, fuzzy feeling. I was about to get it. I folded it out, all right, all 5 covers, double gatefold. $7.99.
It's hard to go to work with a boner. It's hard to drive a car with a boner. It's hard to mow the lawn with a boner.
So I had to pass on it.
Kick his ass, Seabass!
But this one right here was only $3.99. I had to get it. All right. So this next one is by an artist that I learned from Gratu Arloff. He was watching Gotham City Comics, and he loved this cover. Gotham City Comics does these coming out Wednesday book videos. He has a shop, and this one really caught Gratu's eye, and it's Micah Souza. And that artist might actually appear at Comic Book Hideout. I know Funky's currently talking with that person about maybe coming over. They're from LA, so I got a couple of the what do you call them? Trade dress as well. It's good stuff there. This is an artist that Airborne Sapper and I tried to meet at WonderCon, but we couldn't find their booth. Brian Stelfreeze. And it turns out that Stelfreeze was, I believe, right by not Chuck Knobloch. That's he played for the Minnesota Twins. Scott Koblish. Scott Koblish was set up right by Brian Stelfreeze. And we must have just totally missed Stelfreeze. Airborne was going to get his Marvel hip-hop cover signed. And I, as luck would have it, was bringing some Batman Shadow of the Bat for Tim Sale to sign. And fortuitously, I could have had Brian Stelfreeze sign that as well, but nowhere to be found. But yeah, this cover right here is a beautiful Vampirella. I miss Mike Mayhew doing this caliber of work. I won't take anything away from Mike Mayhew. I love a certain era of Vampirella covers he did, but he's really gotten away from it, and he's kind of like Stevie Wonder, you know? Stevie Wonder had his classic era of albums, Songs in the Key of Life, Talking Pillow, and then he kind of moved into doing the soundtrack to The Woman Wore Red, a more commercial sound. And I almost feel like that could be compared to some artists where they go from being truly fine painters to being much more commercial. And I feel like that's been kind of Mike Mayhew's evolution. Fortunately, I have seen that in Perillo, but it hasn't been to the extent. So I still buy a Perillo when one really strikes my fancy. Now this cover right here, I didn't order. This is World Trade issue 1. The cover is by the interior artist Blanco. However, the reason I ordered this is issue 2. Issue 1 had a pretty nice Jenny Frison. This same issue would have had for every 9 of these, you would have gotten one of the Frizz. But this one right here, I didn't order. I wanted the cover by Greek noir artist Danny. And like I said, I order from Ray's Closet Collectibles. Roy R. Ray, I'll put it in there. Sent me this one. I have a thing. If I get shoddy service from eBay store, I don't give bad feedback. I just don't give any feedback. If they even do it halfway right, I praise them the world. You know, I leave a total review of full accolades and applause. But yeah, this one I'm gonna have to leave blank. This one right here is just Kevin Eastman running something that I have a real fondness issue 126. I don't know if this is, you know, Genghis and Napoleon and the other frogs, but ever since reading Trent Kanuga's Creed in the 1990s, I've had a real soft spot for, you know, poison dart arrow frogs. And that's what these guys remind me of. And just the fact that they're all punked out and they look like road warriors. Come on, I had to get it. So I keep finding my way over to Excelsior Collectibles in Anaheim, right on Harbor Boulevard. Excuse me, I think it's Fullerton.
Had your fun. Now it's time to...
It's only, you know, it's like probably 4 miles from Disneyland. But the shop's been closing down, and they're all the way down to 70%. So I went in there and was digging around, and for 70% of $5.99, so that's like $150, got a nice X Factor 89 by Casada and Milgram.
Nacho,
And
man.
it's in Mylar.
I want to be.
The Mylar alone, you know, is a nice little incentive. But that's Casada drawing Wolfsbane, branded. Rawhide. This one is a Ren and Stimpy show. It's hard to say because you got to say it like Renho. Like, I wish I had Tat Comics to do this, but interactive. So interactive special. See, it sounded more like the Taco Bell Chihuahua.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
I guess my my true roots came out and showed themselves. What is Ren? What is his accent? Man, it's probably like a lot closer to German. So I scored one of these. I need to see if Kyle Rowe needs this book. Jeff Lemire, Fireflies. Or excuse me, Fish Flies. And I looked up Fish Flies, and they're actually a really irritating version of flies. Jeff Lemire doing his watercolor. Yeah. And it's probably Dr. Martin watercolors too, because those look like quality. This one right here, Regular Show. Regular Show Skips, issue 2, from Kaboom. I don't see a lot of Regular Show. I think it's by the same company that does Rick and Morty, Kaboom, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, I mean, these books are nice fullbacks. I don't have any labels right now. I'm still debating whether or not I'm going to continue that process, that arduous journey to labeling all my comics. I miss it though. I might get back after it, but right now it's nice to take a little break and read. So this is also Regular Show Skips, issue 2, and this one's by Corey Bing. And wow, that's from 2013. So it's a decade old. Man, I'm down with Mordecai and Trash Boat, Rigby. It's those guys. So that's something I'm going to set aside. X-Force 6, PGH has kind of inspired me to go after this this Liefeld run. And man, Liefeld, I really like the way he drew at this point in his career. Is that Shatterstar? I know when he started Youngblood, he basically did Shaft, a character named Shaft.
I love this bit.
But yeah, this is Shatterstar in issue 6. I guess fighting a Sauron? I'm not sure. And there's some boot-clad feet. It looks like he drew 2 rights though. That one looks correct, and this one on the left side looks like he drew 2 right shoes. I mean, he knew it was coming, even back then. All right, here's back to some X Factor. Keep me on my toes. They actually, for some reason, they did a facsimile of this like 4 years ago, and I have no idea why. It was like when they did a facsimile for Prophet One, like a big time dollar book. They're gonna put a $3.99 on it, but so for $2.99, 70% off $2.99, like 75 cents, basically a quarter after I get the Mylar. X Factor 90. It's just Quesada killing it, man. I love this composition. It was always drawing characters through bullet wounds that the character had inflicted, which we're looking at through the bullet wound. It was when I discovered this idea, it was not lost on me. I put it to use immediately. This is my man. Let me go with this one first. Random, issue 88. I know, it's like, no one was gonna buy these, and I thought, man, first appearance, Random.
Nada.
Why not get it? Beautiful Mylar. Guido down there. I shared this book recently, but I had to share that to show this. This is 95. Random versus Polaris. By this point, I think at this point Quesada was probably working on Sword of Azrael.
Good morning to you. Good
He had left
morning
Marvel
to
to work
you.
at DC for
Good
a while.
morning, dear teacher. Good morning to you.
Cool book. All right. So these right here are probably going to wind down the video as far as I know. So a couple weeks ago, I was looking on Instagram. You know how it is once you flip past the new shares on Instagram, it just starts showing you random things. Well, for me, the random things are just a lot of kitty videos. I guess they figured this guy's gonna watch all the kitty videos. So I have to like go back and select, no, re-show me the things that I'm sub to. And it was Warlock, and he was sharing the interiors of one of these Essential Vertigo Swamp Thing books. This is reprinting, I believe. Well, they're calling it issue 1, but initially I think this was maybe Swamp Thing 21. Supposedly more or less where the Moore run begins. But he was showing one of these, and I'd completely forgotten that the interiors on all these are black and white. And that's amazing to me because I've since learned that the Essential Vertigo Sandman books are not all black and white. They're color. So to get a chance to see Bassett and Toddleben, Just Inks, is amazing. And bear in mind, this isn't like the the printed original versions of these put to grayscale, because that would mean that the coloring that they did initially in the 80s, they would just tone it to grays. Now this is just the line work. So I saw that and I thought, yeah, I really need those. My brother has this whole run in trade. So yeah, that's what they call book 1. Book 2. I haven't read this in about 5 years, the whole Moore run. But man, I need to revisit it. Here is The Essential Vertigo, number 3. Alec holding Abby. I saw the actress that they got to play Swamp Thing on the show, and pretty interesting choice. I mean, pretty amazing. This girl, last name Reed. Davis sent me the collection of the Swamp Thing on DVD. I haven't watched it, but he did send the Watchmen show, which took me a little bit to get into, but once I did, man, I was amazed by that show. Here is Swamp Thing 4 versus the Floronic. The Floronic Man. Accidentally call him the Floridian Man, which just would mean he's from Florida. He's a plant guy, not necessarily from Florida. Woodrew was his name, his human name. So this is issue 5. Yeah, I found someone that had the run, and I was thrilled. This kid's cool right here. He's special needs kid, and doesn't like Abby because she has white hair, and he thinks that she's like a witch, jokingly. But his parents awaken this monster with the Ouija board, and he has to live out some pretty ripe nightmares as a result. Issue 7. Yeah, this is right into the Bissett Toddleben stuff right now. These are great. These are great trades, and the good news is a lot of times, like, the public library will have, these are like such strongly known works of fiction, powerful writing, that a lot of libraries will carry a pretty good catalog of Alan Moore. Now this was a Sean McManus issue, I remember. He had a way of drawing Swamp Thing's eyes kind of cartoony. Not on this cover, but on the interiors. This is still Bissett and Toddleben on the cover. But on the inside of the story, definitely notice a little difference.
And I'm here.
Love and Death. I'm trying to remember exactly what story this is. This might have something to do with Arcane. It's been a real theme of flies in this video. Issue 10. These came out like 96 through 98 or so. A halo of flies. Oh man. Some of these panels, they would just make your skin crawl. Not so much what was in the story, but the framework. In between the panels, there would be millipedes and widow spiders and tarantulas and just the most skin-crawling imagery you can imagine. Just hundreds and hundreds of beetles, stinging insects. It actually raised your anxiety. You almost didn't want to touch the page. It was just so creepy. I read these for the first time 20 years ago on an especially bright summer. And a lot of them I would remember kicking back in a lawn chair, like doing a yard sale, reading these stories. And it was interesting, issue 12, to read these in broad daylight and have a feeling of the paranoia you would usually associate with pitch black. This one right here is an interesting one, issue 13. This is one I definitely have to reread. Pog was this little alien character, and he looked just like what's his name? Walt Kelly's Pogo. And it was, I'm trying to remember. I don't know why I struggled with it. I guess I just kind of knew what he was going for, and it distracted me. But yeah, so I got to reread this one. But yeah, this is issue 13 in the run. I'm sorry. It's probably the closest I'll ever get to owning First Swamp Thing, issue 14. A friend of mine, he was cool enough to send me the file so I could read Zombie Tramp 58. I almost went on Still Ill Princess to buy a Zombie Tramp 58 because they'll sell you damaged copies. For like $5. So it was really cool to just have someone send me the file so I can read it. Issue 14. And they do a parody of this cover. Almost out of space on my phone. I better wrap this up. Issue 15. This might be where a photographer, Bite of Spring, takes a picture of Abby and Swamp Thing, and it becomes this whole scandal, and a controversy is started that this woman is in a relationship with the bog monster. They judge her terribly. It's pretty badass. I think Swamp Thing has to go to Gotham and get her. They'll blow your socks off. This one right here is a two-parter. The Nuke Face Papers, starting in issue 16. It's a story of a vagabond, just a derelict that travels about chugging toxic waste, which he gets an immunity to. I think it's kind of like the story of what Typhoid Mary was based on. This character, this vagabond, he's hoboing across America, just chugging rotten sludge, radiation, and basically just leaving in his path, in his wake, just death and what would you even call it? Mutation. 17. Again, the closest I'll get to a first appearance. Issue 18. Growth patterns. Reprinting the first appearance of Constantine. This one's a personal favorite. This is of the bog vampires. This might partially be some inspiration for Garth Ennis's character of Cassidy, who's also born of a bog hag vampire. But this one is issue 19. And we're lucky enough that it's a two-parter with issue 20. So it's a lot like they have sort of the Queen Bee that she basically is an incubator for the next generation of swamp vampires. This one right here, The Curse, it's it has a theme of, I believe, feminism. This vampire is a woman, and I believe they're using the transformation as a commentary on menstruation.
But this book is about a werewolf, but it's like it starts off with a woman buying sanitary products, and it's set between there and an old Indian.
This one right here is just a good old voodoo story. Just get right back in the thicket of true, unescapable horror. And a voodoo doll of Swamp Thing is just that. And this one right here. Oh boy. Now, these are just all classics. This one right here is called Strange Fruit, but it's actually this last one, issue 24, that has the psychedelic yam that comes off of Swampy's back and the different effects. It feeds upon the psychedelic nature of the yam feeds upon the person's nature. So if it's a caring, nurturing person, they'll have just an amazing trip. You know, the most euphoric mind exploration, transcending just feeling of total nirvana. But if you're a right bastard, the yam will put you through purest hell. All right, so I better wrap it up. I don't think I have any more books. No, just these are all empty. So yeah, for a while it's probably just going to be me letting some Savage Dragon and Tarot Witch of the Black Rose pile up so I can do a haul. But anyway, thanks for watching. Happy reading, and everyone have a great summer. Take care. Bye.
Give that your wings, and that's all that you want.